Hello again, yes. I've got another one of those Carbots. Yes, those Korean-based Transformer toys. Now, this one's a little bit different. I mean, you've used to seeing things like this. Big masterpiece scale, big, bright, colourful, clicky things. Well, today I'm bringing you something a little bit different. It appears they've brought out a new line of toys, and they're called Micros. And I was scanning through eBay looking at Carbot toys, because there's still a couple more Carbots that I want, and all of a sudden these new figures started release, and some of the Korean reviewers started reviewing them. So I thought, when I saw one of them, I thought, I have got to get me one of those. And it arrived yesterday, and here it is. It's dinky, innit? Say hello Carbot, to Pony Meister, or Micro Pony Meister. This is the first, well, one of the new micro series of mini figures that they've brought out. And I saw this one and I had to get it. Now the reason I went for it is because of this. It's based on a Hyundai Pony, yes, which is quite unusual because the Hyundai Pony is just a boxy car from the 1970s. It's not, it's not a Lamborghini. It's not a bloody, not a fancy sports car or executive car or even like a nice Swiss modern car like this turns into. It's just a bog basic, little hatchback from the 1970s. Why base a Transformer toy on something like this? That's part of the reason why, well, this is the main reason I bought it, because of the alt mode. But anyway, before we get into the actual toy itself, I want to have a little talk about the box. Now, as you can see, it's a little square cardboard box with lots of Korean writing all over it. Now, straight away, the nostalgia has hit me. And it reminded me of back in the 1970s when I used to go uptown with my parents to buy toys. And I used to buy Matchbox cars. Now, Matchbox cars used to come in little boxes like these back in the 70s. Matchbox Superfasts. The Hot Wheels cars of the day in the UK. We didn't really have Hot Wheels back then. Well, I suppose we did have them, but only the posh shops used to do Hot Wheels. Us normal folk used to get Corgi and Matchbox, but they used to come in little boxes like this, and they'd have some nice artwork of the model on the front, and then on the end you'd have like a label with a model number, and they'd be in racks in the shop. You'd have like 10 deep and 5 across, and you'd have to pick which one you want and get it out. And this box just reminded me of that. It took me back to my childhood in the 1970s when I used to go, buy Matchbox cars, because this is the sort of packet that they used to come in. Anyway, let's talk about this particular toy. Let's talk about Meister. Apparently that's what his name is. Like I said, he's one of a number of new characters that have been introduced to the toy line. And I believe, I don't know for sure because I haven't seen any evidence of it yet online, that they're doing a second series of the Carbot TV show. And it would suggest, for the fact there's a whole new raft of new characters coming out, this being one of them, that they're going to be introducing some new characters for the second series. Now, I know they're doing a repaint of Dandy. There's a new sort of samurai one called what's he called? Sonata Artie. In a really sort of, henshin sort of samurai look. He looks really fancy. And there's another one that's based on the Genesis coupe called Born, in this bright lurid green coupe. Anyway, the box. It's a small cardboard box, and inside is the toy. And there it is. Now, as you can say, it's based on a Hyundai Pony, which is kind of like a Morris Marina coupe from the 1970s, but it's like the Korean version. Interesting fact about the early Hyundai cars: they were actually based on Ford cars from the UK. The Pony was actually the floor pan and the running gear, not the engine, but the floor pan was based on a Mark II Escort Ford Escort, and the Hyundai Stella, which was the four-door saloon, was based on a Ford Cortina. But anyway, the Hyundai Stella. It's a little red three-door car. He does have weapon storage like the other Carbots. He has this kind of axe type thing which clips in the bottom. And it's sort of Legends scale, would be the best I could describe it. I've put it up against some of my other Legends things. It's slightly smaller than a Legend but bigger than a Legion. It's sort of halfway in between. Has a lot of like very obvious panel lines on the car mode, but it's nice, shiny paint. The grille and the lights are picked out really well, and a little bit of paint on the back. So yeah, paint-wise, it's pretty good. It's got not transparent-ish windows. But that's the car mode, and this is the reason why I bought it. It's a little Hyundai. So transforming this, very simple. You pull the sides of the car out to the side. Obviously, pull these little struts down. Then you flip down the front, then split the legs, pull them out with the feet, and then the shoulder pad things go up, and then the arms come down. And there we go. There is Meister in his robot mode. Now, they have done about 5 different models in this range. They've done like mini versions of Prawn, they've done mini versions of Ace and Hawk, and this gal. They've done a mini version of Sky as well. But they all seem to have this, the robot parts are all moulded in white plastic. They've got good moulding detail on them, but a lack of paint, which is unfortunate. Robot mode, obviously the front of the car becomes the chest, back of the car becomes the legs, sides of the car become the arms. Very simple really. Articulation, mostly ball joints and a few pivots. The shoulder bit is pivoted and the arm comes down on a pivot. No elbow joints, but you can move the arm on the shoulder joint. This bit goes up and down as well. So, you can have the arm go forwards, up, down. So you can get a variety of poses on those joints. Head does not move, it's fixed. The legs, it's got waists, it can do the splits. Has got a knee joint, but they're very restricted. They only go back so far. And it's actually got 2 ankle joints. If you see on the side, it's got like a double ankle, and they do seem a little loose. So if you stand it up and start moving it around, it will collapse. So yeah, kind of interesting, but it's not the robot mode that I bought this thing for. It's the alt mode, let's be honest. So yeah, I'm happy I got it. Cost me about, what was it, 15 quid or something like that. Had it shipped from Korea. Very happy with it. Nice little purchase. Now, as it's a new character from a new show that's coming out, let's hope that eventually they're going to do a version of this in this size. If they do, I will just die. If I can get a 1/20th scale Hyundai Pony that transforms into a robot, I will just... it'll do it for me. But in the meantime, I'll just have to accept this little 1/52nd scale version, which is great. It's good. So here we are, me again, first person in the West to review another Carbot toy. What is it? You go and watch the Korean views of these and they just show you the toy. They don't talk, they don't show the face or anything. They're kind of boring, the Korean reviews, but at least you can understand what they're going on about. They're just showing you the toy. But yeah, Hyundai Pony. Pony Meister, Micro Pony Meister. He's alright, he's great. Glad I got him. Very hard to find. Well, as far as I know, this thing's never going to go on sale in the West, let's face it. I mean, this is like a Korea-only thing. But they're great. I like these Carbots, and I will hopefully be getting more of them in due time. So, yeah, that's been me. Hope you enjoyed this review. Going to the NEC Toy Fair at the weekend, picking up a few things. Obviously, rollout roll calls just around the corner. So yeah, you'll be seeing a few videos from me in the next week or so. Obviously, I've got my end of month bot haul as well. I've picked up a few interesting things at Carbot lately, which you might want to be looking at. So I will bid you adieu and see you next time. Ta-da.